Hey, my name is Hero. This is Coding with Strangers, and this is my review for 2024.
My bad. You already started.
What's going on?
Since it was sponsored by Google, I figured we could do a little razzle dazzle with the green screen. We got some free stuff. We got time. We could do it.
You figured what? We don't have the budget for these type of videos anymore. We can't do that.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Come on, man.
Come off.
Come off. I bet that sounded real cool in your head. Now start the show. We're doing it.
My name is Hero, and this is Coding with Strangers. And here's my review for Devfest 2024. The good, the bad, and the truth. Hey, if you want me to come check out one of your events, don't hesitate to reach out. The way you can reach me is down in the description below for inquiries and all that good stuff. And yes, we are looking for sponsors. No, seriously, we are looking for sponsors, so make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Share this with your friend, enemy, girlfriends, whoever you guys are into, strangers. But if you have any questions about the event that you didn't get answered in this video, don't hesitate to leave it in the comment section below. But without any further ado, let's talk about the good in you. If you do not have the app Meetup downloaded on your phone, what are you doing? This is not a sponsor, but Meetup is probably one of the most underrated apps when it comes to getting connected with people in tech that I've ever heard of. I have literally had more success connecting with high-ranking people in the tech world. We're talking about OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Netflix, and a host of other people than I have with on LinkedIn, and I have nearly 500 connects. This was my first time to DevFest and also my first time to the Chicago Google campus. I might be aging myself here a little bit, but I was here before Google got here. 20 years ago when Google planted itself in Chicago, I remember that place just being a flat piece of land. So to see how the Fulton market has evolved and become this bustling section of business, a short distance and a hop away from brickstone buildings iconic for their townhouse structure located in the West Loop, it was pretty surreal to be walking from the parking spot of a Google employee. But there's a bunch of places to park if you are going to be willing to pay the downtown parking fees. What a great place to plant themselves. What a great development they have growing around them. And I'm really interested to see how they can further expand this area to make it more accessible to people who don't know about this gem over here in the Fulton market. But DevFest, shout out to you for hosting this at Google because they have their pulse on literally everything. From hacking to DevOps, product management, accelerators, AI innovation, their competitors, what's the future gonna look like? I shouldn't be shocked, but I am. But for some strange reason, I didn't know Google's bag was that deep. There are quality people literally everywhere. The expectation of greatness and the expectation of doing your job significantly well, the expectation is fierce and the pressure, not diabolical in nature, but reassuring that everyone you talk to, every question you ask, someone has the answer in that building. Google made no qualms about not recruiting. From the moment you walked in, they asked you your job status, what you're looking to get into, what are your qualifications, your portfolio. They gathered all of that information. They were very thorough. Google was looking to hire people that they saw to be significantly of interest to them or beneficial to the company. But that also has something to do that was happening later on that evening. And if you want to know what happened in that video, I'll tell you about these 16 AI companies that came to Google after our event to talk about recruiting and how to get the best candidates to come to their company. It was quite fascinating. If you want to see that, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you can get the notification for when that video drops. And it makes sense that Google seemed to be prepared to hire, because why would they spend money locating the best people on the internet and having to filter through resumes and all of these things versus finding people who are proactively looking for a way to get in the door? They came prepared with their resumes on QR codes or having their portfolios readily available to display and demo on their laptops. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed at how prepared people were for today from a business and interviewing perspective. And as far as the crowd is concerned, I mean, Ladies, you finally showed up, and I want to thank you so much. I mean, I really appreciate y'all showing up and being so kind as to, bless us with your intelligence, your elegance, your productivity in the tech, science, space. I was able to breathe a lot lighter seeing all these lovely women, of multiple colors I might add, doing the darn thing. I love it.
Bro.
Okay, I'm sorry. But the Google 15 is real because I actually made plans to go have lunch and dinner with a few friends from the city, but I greatly misunderstood the assignment. Not only did Google feed us and gave us a happy hour afterwards, lunch, dinner, and a happy hour. And this was a free event on Meetup. I get why people almost feel the need to overwork. When everything's provided for you, of course you can go the extra distance. With all these good things happening, it'd be a shame if you didn't follow up. That has to be one of the biggest downfalls of these type of events. When you go to these events and you don't follow up with the people you've made connections with, how are they ever going to be able to have an impact on you? And this is called conversion, and it's a metric that Google really pays attention to. But now let's talk about something that keeps me up at night, the bad. Let's talk about how unprepared I was to be in 12 places at one time. There were 12 different speakers that spoke throughout the whole entire event. But if your name isn't Naruto and you can't make mass shadow clones, you could only go to 4 of the total 12 events. So with that being said, I find it to be almost ridiculous that I didn't think to meet up with these people either before their events or after their event to touch bases with them and give a formal introduction. Their LinkedIn accounts are all attached to the profiles of when they were performing or when they were speaking, but it still stands to reason that's what we were trying to avoid by being here. When I send that LinkedIn connect after not meeting them and basically what it sounds like avoiding them through the whole event, I'm just going to be another name in the long list of people looking to exploit these people on LinkedIn. Why would you pay attention to that? I really need to tighten up in this aspect. It's something that I truly couldn't believe I fumbled when I was taking notes for this. And people, we need to do a better job with questions and staying on task or topic at Q&As. During the Q&A, there were times where engineers, developers, people who are curious, and I'm not making fun of them, I'm not trying to poke fun at them, but when you ask questions that are clearly part of the terms of service, TOS, it just shows that you're not doing your due diligence. To ask questions about privacy in the sense of how is Google managing my data and privacy and how do I make sure that Google doesn't misuse my privacy and data? Sir, ma'am, the terms of service stated you sold your soul the moment you typed in Google Gemini. I'm not saying that Google's out here to misuse your data, but if you have this level of concern, probably don't use it because Google's a business and their business is you. Shout out to Sockhead because if it wasn't for him, my portfolio would look like this, which is probably what a lot of yours look like. But thanks to him, my stuff looks like this. Your portfolio needs to be ready yesterday. But the presentation matters. When you put in so much work and it's not eligible, it's not followable, it's not readable, it makes it less accessible. And if it's not accessible to people, then they're not going to learn about who you are and furthermore, what you can do. You got to make yourself presentable. Very important. Shout out to Sockhead. If you want a tutorial for how I did this, let me know. It's hard to point out flaws when you're surrounded by greatness. So let me go ahead and tell you the hard truth. I had to come to terms with the fact that I'm probably not Google material. And it's not a bad thing, but it's something that I probably have to come to terms with. After watching this benevolent king grace the stage and so elegantly explain and direct and garner the trust and accolades that he has, but also being able to answer on-the-fly questions and lead with effective answering, there's just something they have that a boatload of people will never be able to ascertain. It's the Google factor. It makes sense now. You have to see it to believe it. And having the opportunity to talk with the VP about how DevOps is being evolved, not based on how the technology is being evolved, but really how people are evolving with close proximity of the tech, it makes so much more sense why they're so much better at this than I was. I have so much to learn, and there's nothing I can do in an afternoon or a weekend that's going to make up for 20 years of experience. But the constant battle of getting better is a lot faster when you have mentors. And I think I took my first step into being mentored when I received this bit of information upon expressing how much better they looked comparative to anything I've ever seen. And this is what he said. You don't have to work here in order to get paid here. This line had me in shambles because for the longest I've been chasing being part of big tech, or thinking that being part of big tech means I have to work for a big tech company. It is the biggest fallacy I've probably garnered through my time in tech. You have to go to a DevFest. You have to meet up with these individuals, because until you meet them, you will not be able to pierce that veil and move on to the next level. It's almost mandatory. DevFest was an easy 10 out of 10. I would go every week if I could. It was so impressive to be around such like-minded individuals with actual goals. And this is the turning point for you. Not just a vision. They have a pathway to success, a proven pathway to success. They are effective at solving problems. That is it. That is all they will ever be good at. That's all they want to be good at. And it shows. I'm telling you guys, I was truly mesmerized by how well their system seems to run. Very good presentation. Shout out to the host. Shout out to everybody that helped sponsor this event, make it possible. Man, really good. And shout out to the 120 people that showed up throughout the day. They are truly people from all walks of life, whether self-taught, transferring careers, moving from one tech space to another tech space, whether you're a developer to hacker, hacker to developer. There was so many people here for so many different reasons. I mean, I applaud all of them. You clearly made a stamp on your next step into the future. But another hard truth that I had to come to terms with, further supporting the idea that you don't have to work here in order to be paid here, is of the 16 people who came to do an accelerator, or were a CEO or venture capitalist looking to invest in future AI tech, at least 4 of them were people who used to work at Google. The badge of honor of being an ex-Googler is proof that you have it. And what is it? It's the ability to solve problems. Imagine being so good at your job, and it's not like your job is difficult. Other people can do it, but they can't do it as well as you. Now imagine you're so good at it, you distinguish yourself so much that you quit your job and then go make a company, come back to Google, and they put you part of their $200 million accelerator portfolio that helps you garner clients, prospects, and the ability to recruit from Google so that your business is successful and you go from being an employee to being a partner. I had the game all messed up. It is clear I had the game messed up. Solving problems is what makes you useful to anybody. Find a problem you can solve and somebody's gonna pay you for it. Period. I got my work cut out for me, but that's okay. We ain't afraid of a little hard work now, are we? I feel seasick sometimes when I'm chasing the treasure. Sometimes I look out into the distance and try to spot up my next landing site, and the island just keeps moving, and then you just keep drifting, and for some strange reason, all of a sudden now you are lost at sea. You gotta come to terms with some things if you're gonna stay on this path. You better become comfortable with the things you know you don't know. Be welcoming to the things that will hand you L's. Be welcoming to different opinions. Seek guidance. And I have to remember this part. You can't do it alone. You need to find a crew. You need to find a rival. You need to find a mentor. Make a community for yourself, because nobody, and I mean nobody, is coming to save you. So what's it gonna be, Captain? Where's the next journey gonna take you? Thanks for watching.